Have you ever stopped to wonder why our weather patterns are becoming increasingly unpredictable and extreme? We're not just talking about a few extra hot summers or colder winters. We're seeing wildfires, hurricanes, and floods with a frequency and intensity like never before. These aren't just anomalies, they're signs of a shifting global climate. The world's climate is changing, and the effects are far more serious than we might initially realize. Let's delve into some numbers that paint a grim picture of our current global weather conditions. The statistics are startling and cannot be ignored. Our planet's average temperature has been steadily climbing. Over the last century, the global temperature has risen by more than 1 degree Celsius. This might not sound like much, but even a small increase in temperature can have a profound impact on our world's climate system. Now, let's consider the rise in sea levels. Over the past 100 years, the global sea level has risen by about 20 centimeters. This is due to the melting of ice caps and glaciers, a direct result of the increase in global temperatures. This rise in sea levels is causing coastal flooding, erosion, and the loss of habitat for marine life. Let's not forget about the increase in extreme weather events. We are witnessing an unprecedented escalation in the frequency and intensity of these events. Heat waves, floods, hurricanes, and wildfires are becoming more commonplace. The last decade alone has seen a 50% increase in these catastrophic events compared to the previous one. But it's not just about the frequency, it's also about the severity. The hurricanes we're seeing now are more powerful, the heat waves more scorching, the floods more devastating. These aren't just isolated incidents, they are part of a larger, more troubling pattern. These statistics are not random. They are interrelated, each one influencing and exacerbating the others. They are the result of a warming planet, a planet that is changing more rapidly than at any point in its history. These numbers are not just figures on a page, they are real, tangible evidence of the crisis we face. But remember, statistics, no matter how alarming, are not destiny. They are a call to action, a demand for change. Our actions today will determine the numbers of tomorrow. Let's make sure those numbers tell a different, more hopeful story. But what does all this mean for us, as inhabitants of this planet? Well, let's dive into the human impact of changing weather patterns. The consequences are far-reaching and multifaceted, impacting every aspect of our lives. Firstly, consider the displacement due to natural disasters. From floods to wildfires, extreme weather events are becoming increasingly frequent and severe. Homes are washed away, communities are destroyed, and millions of people are forced to leave their familiar surroundings. These climate refugees often have nowhere to go, their lives uprooted by the wrath of an ever-changing climate. Then, there are the health risks associated with extreme temperatures. Heat waves can cause heat stroke and dehydration, especially among the elderly and the very young. On the other end of the spectrum, extreme cold can lead to hypothermia and frostbite. And let's not forget about the rise in vector-borne diseases like malaria and dengue fever, as changing weather patterns create more favorable conditions for the insects that carry these diseases. Lastly, there is the economic fallout of climate change. Agricultural yields are plummeting as droughts and floods become more common, leading to food shortages and price hikes. Industries like fishing and tourism, which depend heavily on predictable weather patterns, are also taking a hit. The cost of repairing the damage caused by extreme weather events is astronomical, putting further strain on already stretched public resources. In the face of these challenges, one thing is clear. Climate change is not just an environmental issue, it's a human issue. It affects our health, our homes, our livelihoods. It forces us to confront the reality of our vulnerability and the fragility of the world we inhabit. We are not merely observers of these changes, we are the ones who bear the brunt of their effects. As we move forward, it's crucial to remember this human impact, to keep in mind the real, tangible consequences of our changing climate, because ultimately, the fight against climate change is a fight for our survival. Yet, we are not just victims. Our actions have played a significant role in accelerating these changes. Let's take a moment to delve into this further. Our planet is a complex system, delicately balanced. The actions we take, both large and small, can tip this balance, leading to far-reaching effects. Two of the most significant contributors to global warming and climate change are the burning of fossil fuels and deforestation. Imagine, if you will, the millions of cars, trucks, planes, and factories that burn gasoline, diesel, coal, and other fossil fuels every single day. These activities release vast amounts of carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas, into the atmosphere. This gas traps heat from the sun, causing the Earth's average temperature to rise, a phenomenon we commonly refer to as global warming. But it doesn't stop there. Normally, our planet has a natural way of managing this excess carbon dioxide. Trees, through a process called photosynthesis, absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen. Yet our forests, the lungs of our planet, are rapidly disappearing. We are cutting down trees at an alarming rate for timber, agriculture, and urban development, reducing the Earth's capacity to absorb carbon dioxide. In essence, we're double hitting our planet. On one hand, we're increasing the amount of heat-trapping gases, and on the other, we're reducing the Earth's ability to manage these gases. This is like adding fuel to a fire while removing the fire extinguisher. As we continue these activities, the Earth's temperature rises, causing the climate to change, leading to the extreme weather conditions we're witnessing today. More heat waves, more powerful storms, longer droughts, rising sea levels. These are not just random occurrences, they are the consequences of our actions. Our actions have consequences, and in this case, they are grave. We are not just victims of climate change, we are also its accelerators. We have the power to slow it down, but that requires understanding and acknowledging the role we've played in its escalation. However, it's not all doom and gloom. There are steps we can take to mitigate the impact of global warming. You see, the power to make a difference is in our hands. We can start by reducing our carbon footprint, which is the total amount of greenhouse gases we produce, either directly or indirectly. Consider renewable energy sources. Solar panels, wind turbines, hydropower, and others are all viable options that harness the natural forces around us. These energy sources are abundant, sustainable, and, most importantly, they don't produce harmful emissions. The sun, the wind, and the water are not just elements of nature we admire, but also powerful allies in our fight against global warming. Next is reducing waste. Did you know that a significant part of our waste ends up in landfills where it decomposes and releases methane, a potent greenhouse gas? By composting organic waste, recycling paper, glass, and metals, and reusing items instead of buying new ones, we can significantly cut down waste production. It's not just about decluttering, it's about making our planet cleaner and healthier. Lastly, we can support policies aimed at addressing climate change. This could be as simple as voting for leaders who prioritize environmental protection or advocating for laws that promote renewable energy and reduce emissions. Our voices, when amplified, can influence the course of our planet's future. Remember, our actions today will determine the kind of world we'll be living in tomorrow. Every little bit helps. Switching off lights when not in use, taking public transport instead of driving, planting trees, or even spreading awareness about climate change, all these actions add up. Each of us has a role to play in combating global warming. It's not just about saving the environment, it's about preserving our way of life, our communities, our future. We can either be the generation that allowed the planet to perish, or the one that stepped up and made a difference. The choice is ours. It's time to step up and make a difference. The state of our global weather conditions is a wake-up call to all of us. We've taken a deep dive into the unsettling realities of today's extreme weather patterns, their alarming statistics, and the profound human impact they bring. We've also discussed the significant role our daily activities play in exacerbating these conditions. This isn't just another topic for intellectual debates or political discourse. This is about our home, our planet. The evidence is clear and the time to act is now. The longer we wait, the steeper the hill we'll have to climb to reverse these changes. In the face of these daunting realities, we must remember that we are not helpless. Each of us has a role to play in the fight against global warming. By making conscious choices, like reducing our carbon footprint, supporting renewable energy sources, and advocating for responsible policies, we can make a difference. In conclusion, the state of our planet is a challenge, but it's one we must rise to meet. It's not just about the world we live in now, but the world we leave for future generations. This is our call to action. This is our moment to make a difference. Remember, the future of our planet is in our hands. Please like and subscribe to stay informed and join the fight against global warming.